This is a very special podcast with my beautiful daughter Liliana. She forced to be reckoned with. She beats at the rhythm of her own guitar, not even a drum. This is special to me because you're about to leave for a few years. I know I'll see you in a few months, but you'll be gone. You'll be away from the house for a while, and I don't think you'll ever come back to the house.
No.
Just to visit, holidays maybe. But yeah, Liliana, Giselle, why don't you introduce yourself? Like, who are you? Just like you don't have to go into detail or anything. It's just a way to just who are you?
Well, I am my dad's daughter, and I always will be. I know it's hard for you with all of your kids, especially the older ones, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, always been around you, especially during your hardest years, I think. And I grew up with it, even as you became the person you wanted to become.
I think we'll dive into that as we go through this conversation. I'm just excited that you agreed to do this. I think I wanted to do this with Dominic, and I'm sure I'll have an opportunity to do it sometime. Are you okay? How do you feel about recording this?
Oh, it's fine. I'm good.
Yeah, cool. If you had to describe our relationship in one or two sentences, maybe three, how would you describe it?
No, that's hard
Think about it.
because it's like a love-hate relationship.
Explain that.
It's really like a love-hate relationship. Like, obviously, we love each other as father and daughter, but at the same time, we hate each other for our, decisions and how we are as people.
What do you mean?
Like
we hate the things that we do?
We hate the things that we do, but at the same time, we're both like, it's okay, because it's just how we want to go about things.
Do you think
for ourselves.
Do you think the word is hate?
No, not hate, but just love-hate was
Yeah.
the term. We don't hate each other. We're very wary and protective.
Are we judgmental?
We're so judgmental.
We listen and we judge.
We listen and we judge.
We judge and we judge.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess outside of our circle, I don't know if we're necessarily judgmental people, but I think we are very judgmental when it comes to the things we do as a family.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing, and I don't even know if it's the word judge. Yeah, it probably is judge. Like, we judge our moves, our conversations, the way we say things.
Mm-hmm.
You and I think, are a lot alike. I think we're chameleons. Like, we easily adapt in rooms to please other people.
Yeah. I do that. I'm a very big people pleaser.
And I hate that about us.
Yeah.
I think I'm in my I don't give a fuck anymore era, where I used to care a lot about what other people thought about me, things I did, things I said, and I'm just so over it.
I don't really care what they say or think about me.
I know.
But
deep down inside, I think it bothers you. I think you think about it. I think you don't care, but it just
it does bother me. But at that moment, I'm just like,
you let it go.
Get away from me.
Yeah, I wish I would have learned that when I was younger. What other sentence would describe our relationship, or words, or let's do that. Let's do 5 words.
5
that
words
describe our relationship.
I've never actually thought how to describe our relationship.
Just is. It exists.
Like our relationship is just there.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a good thing, because if I'm not there, you reach out to me. And if you're not there, I reach out to you.
How would you describe yourself in 5 words?
Self? Oh gosh.
3 words. Let's make it easier.
3 words. I'm stubborn.
Okay.
I'm very stubborn. And I think I got that from you.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
What else can I describe myself? I don't know how this word would be described, but I like bringing joy to people. I like making people laugh and smile.
What word describes that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
So stubborn. I don't know. I'm sure there's a million words out there and I'm not thinking, but the
Yeah,
only thing that comes to my mind when you say those words, those are very motherly behaviors. So maybe even motherly.
maybe.
Or is that like too much?
No, but I don't want to be a mother, so.
Oh, so there you go. What's another word?
Hmm. I don't know. I guess a word that I've always wanted to be is independent.
Independent.
Hmm.
I can see that.
Yeah.
That's a hard one. Like, I
Hmm.
want you to be independent. That's why I'm excited about this next chapter in your life because this is, I think, as a dad, I feel that this is going to be the best step for you to take in your life. And this is where you're going to get that independence.
Hmm.
And you'll still have some sort of, I don't know, security over you or safe space, so to speak.
Hmm.
Some sort of structure over you that allows you to become independent. But just, yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to let go of my kids and give them, I think, the space they deserve, the space they need, because as parents, I think we know our kids very well, and we hold on to things that we shouldn't. We hold on to, when I try to hold on and keep you in a bubble, I'm holding on to like 4 or 5 year old Lily.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's hard to let go of that stuff. Like when Dominic left, okay, like it's been hard. He's his own person and everything, but I still go in there and try to control. No, not control, just maybe the word is control. Maybe it's, no, it's not control. It's just more of,
It's just your protection. Your need and want to protect.
I don't want like you guys to struggle and suffer and that's not healthy. Like you guys need to struggle and suffer and go through shit and learn on your own. And that's one of the hardest things for me as a dad is just coming to the realization that you guys are your own humans, but I want to protect you guys too, because
Hmm.
I don't think there was anyone there to protect me when I was your age. You know what I mean? And you guys have that. You guys have something that I didn't have, but at the same time, I shouldn't put some of those things on you because it's not your fault that I had a shitty ass upbringing. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? What's the worst thing about you?
The worst thing about me,
Like if you have anything that you think, oh, I hate this about me.
I think I hate that I let people into my heart easily.
Hmm.
Because I'm usually very open with people. And when I let them in, they're in there to stay. So when people do me wrong, it affects me really bad.
But they're
Really.
still in there.
But they're still there. And I still have that love for them.
And if they came back, you would just be like, hey, come on in. Nothing
I
ever
think,
happened.
yeah, I think so. And I hate that because I know that I shouldn't. But I still care for them even if they've done me wrong.
I know. That's depressing. I think that's my biggest thing is I hate that
Hmm.
everyone, I want to be everyone's friend. I want to get along with everyone. I let people in and they do me wrong and something inside of me still wants to see them succeed, to see them do well. And if I, was invited by people that, I said I would never talk to again to lunch or something, I would go. And I would just, because we want to be loved, we want to belong, and I think this comes from the feeling that you and I have with people and letting people in. And Courtney hates it, like, because I'm like, oh, I like that person, they're pretty cool. She's like, you like everyone, because she knows and she can smell a fake person from a mile away.
Hmm.
She's like, I don't know about that person, and it's so many times she said, I don't know about that person. Oh, they're cool, they just blah blah, and then it turns out she's like, I knew it, but it's just something inside of us that wants to belong, wants to, we go back to the pleasing. We want to please people. We want to just have that sense of belonging. I think that comes from traumas in our lives. I know mine, like through finding myself, I've learned that trait that I have, the reason why I feel that way towards others is because my mom died at a young age I never really received that love from her that I felt that a child deserves from their mother. So her dying opened up a door for me to find someone that would give me that love that she never gave me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it, and whether in with you're looking for that motherly love, that protection, that security, that kindness, that one that makes you feel a way that you don't, you can't describe. So yeah, I mean, throughout my life, I've looked at women not in a partner or sexual way. Like I've looked at women throughout my life and have looked for that motherly connection with people,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And I think it's just something that, like, now that I know that about myself, I know, like, okay, like, Umberto, are you just trying to be cool with this person, or are you just looking for something that is just an empty, part of your heart that will never get filled, no matter how hard you try to fill it? And then, we try to make connections with people and let them in, and they take up parts of your heart that take away room from people that actually belong in there, if
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're gonna go back to um, how we became a family. And this is the best thing because I started using the Vaseline thing, and my lips don't, like, they dry, but they don't like peel anymore. Um, so we'll go back to when we became a family, right? So do you want to talk about that or no?
Yeah.
I so we had Dayton first.
Mm-hmm.
Myra and I had Dayton first. He was 7 days old when we got him. Your guys' biological mom dropped him off because obviously you guys are related on your mom's side of the family. Dropped him off, had us watch him for a few hours. She came back, I think it was like 7, 8 months later, after we had done everything that you do for a child when they are newborns.
Mm-hmm.
There was obviously nothing legally we could do about it. Fast forward a few months later, you, Dominic, and Dayton are at our doorstep again. Myra was working. I was home because I was working night shift at a warehouse, and they knocked, and all three of you were there and asked if we could watch you. And I said, sure, but this time we're going to have to figure something out because it's not fair for the kids. Well, anyways, then you guys started staying with us. You were 4.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of that stuff?
Oh, I remember all of it.
Okay, so how was that for you? How did we become a family?
Well, 4-year-old me, um, I was just constantly around Dominic. He was my safe space. He was, because I was always around him 24/7. We shared a room, we shared a room when we were with our biological parents. And I never remember going to school or getting an education with them. So, me and Dominic, both of us. So we were constantly trying to keep each other busy or finding things to do together. So when we went with you and mom, it was weird because Dominic, I think, accepted you guys like almost immediately. I think he was okay with it, and I couldn't figure out why. Why he was okay with people we didn't know or didn't grow up
Because you didn't know me.
I didn't know any of you or mom. So I couldn't figure out how Dominic was so easily like entrapped by you guys, and it made me like not trustful at all. And I was not comfortable. I was obviously scared because I didn't know you guys. I didn't know how I would be treated with you guys if I'd be treated the same as I was with my biological parents, which was just neglect and
What was that
no
like?
love.
What was that like? What do you remember about?
They were never there. Home. They were never home. What I would call home. They were never there. And when they were there, they were always fighting or they were always doing drugs in our room. Me and the room my brother stayed in. I didn't understand what they were doing at the time, but the older I got, the
Mhm.
more I was like, they were doing that, which is like, okay. So them always, when they were home, I always never wanted to be there. So I always had Dom go out with me and do something so that I wouldn't be around them because I hated being around them. And when they didn't feed us, when they couldn't do anything, sometimes they were gone for a few days at a time, which I thought was the normal that everyone's family did. I thought that was normal. I don't think I ever told you this, but there was a neighbor. He was a little old man, a little old Mexican man, um, and I think he knew that me and Dom were not being cared for. Because every morning he would ask us, he had broken English, he couldn't speak very well English, but me and Dom didn't know
Mhm.
Spanish. So he would always try to ask us, do you want breakfast? Like, do you want food? And he'd make us chilaquiles every morning when he could. When he could, he'd make us food because I think he knew we weren't being cared for.
That's so depressing.
Yeah. And I still don't know what happened to that old man. When we left, I, yeah, never saw that man again, but
Because you guys lived a few hours away too, so you guys
yeah.
would drive.
Yeah.
Was it just the house? Was it just like your
It was an
biological
apartment,
parents? But did
and
anyone else live with you guys, or just you
it
guys?
was just us. And me and Don picked up a cat off the street. This little babies, we loved it. Biological parents didn't even notice the cat was ever there. But we loved that cat, I think, is where my love for cats. I wish I had a cat. But yeah, it was just us and that cat. And then that cat had babies, and there was us and the babies and the cat.
Do you remember when Dayton was born,
I do, yes.
and then like him not being there after he was born? Like, do you remember that,
I
or
do remember that, but I didn't know that Dayton was our brother. I thought they were just watching kids.
after they brought him
After they brought him home, I had no idea who this kid was.
and he went missing for a bit?
And he was just gone, so I was like, okay, he went back with his family, whatever. And then it was just back to me and Dom again, which I wasn't complaining about. Because the few days that he was there, um, they would leave him on the bed for hours and just forget about him. And he'd be there crying, and me and Dom try to figure out how to make him stop because he was annoying us. So we were trying to like help him. But us being as young as we were, we didn't know how to care for a baby. We didn't know what to do. But that's what I mostly remember. It was just Dayton sitting there on the bed for hours crying.
Oh, poor kid.
Yeah.
Fast forward to you guys coming to our house. We lived in Sunnyside.
Yes, I remember
Like, you
that.
remember like us showing up, you showing up, or
That was at Mama Chili's,
yeah,
right? Yeah, I remember that.
and you're there and you're like, who are these people? But
Yeah,
before that, you had lived in Benton City for a little bit because they came. I think they lived in Benton City for a while, and I don't know if you remember that you guys lived.
it
She
was with,
worked at a gas station, I think,
it
or
was with, biological dad's mom, which is where most of my trauma comes from, that house.
yeah.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, we can. I don't mind.
What was that like? Because that was right before, like literally, like months
Yeah,
before you guys came to our place.
so that house was even worse than the first. That house had biological dad's brothers, and they were always fist fighting and yelling at each other. And I thought it was the norm of a house, of a home, of a family. I thought that was the normal side of things. And me and Dom thinking that was normal, we would always try to make a game out of it, or you know, keep ourselves away from it. But yeah, but at that house, they actually fed us. So me and Dom,
We weren't complaining.
we were like, okay, we're getting food. Like, it's whatever. Yeah, but I do remember I was always sick at that house. That house was like never clean. So I was always constantly getting sick. And when I was sick, no one cared. It was just, if you're sick, stay in the bathroom. It's like, okay.
You didn't have your own room there, right?
No, I think me and Dom slept in the living room. I think that's where we slept. And again, me and Dom were always together, so we're always used to sleeping next to each other. And then one day, Dominic wasn't there. And I remember I was so upset because I wanted to go with Dom. Because, young me, I wanted to be around him all the time. I don't know where he went, but he just wasn't there. Dad's brother was their younger brother, I think. I can't remember. He had like three. It was one of them. biological dad's younger brother had friends over, and no one was home. It was just me and him. And he had a few friends over, and you know, I was like, okay, whatever. And the older man he took me to a room, and I was young, so I didn't know. I thought he was going to give me something, or, I don't know what I
Yeah,
thought.
yeah.
I don't know what I thought. And then I was sexually assaulted by him. I don't remember.
Blacked out.
I don't remember his face. I don't remember his name. None of that I remember. I do remember what he did, but not what he looked like, not how long it was, not what happened after. I just remember when Dom came back with biological dad's mom. That I remember. And I couldn't tell Dom because I didn't know. I couldn't understand what happened or why it happened, and I couldn't tell Dom. I didn't want him to feel what I felt, I think, so I didn't tell him.
He knew though.
I don't know if he knew.
Later, well, I know we've had conversations about this with him, and he says he remembers, and he hates himself for, or he doesn't hate himself. He hates that he wasn't there to protect you.
Yeah, I never told him. I couldn't.
But he knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after that, I never tried to leave Dom. I always tried to stay by him. And I never told anyone about it. And then life continued on in the house.
Not for too long. I think that
No,
was like
not for
two
too
months,
long.
3 months after that. I think that's when you guys ended up coming.
Yeah, and then obviously coming to your house, it was like a culture shock. I was like, is this, like, what's happening? Why is it so, like, comforting? I couldn't understand it. And I think that's what scared me a lot.
It's not real.
Yeah, that it couldn't be normal. That this couldn't be normal. But I was very scared of you at first because I didn't know you. I was like, what if it happens again? What if he does it to me too?
Hmm.
Because I didn't know you. But, I think Dominic, him being so comfortable, it's like, okay, like, I think I'm okay. Like, I'll be okay. Like, these people are feeding us. They're, like, buying things for us. They're like, loving us. They're telling us they love us. And it felt weird because I'm like, no one's ever told me that. No one's told us that before.
How long do you remember, like, when you started feeling comfortable? Like, when you started feeling like, okay, like, I'm going to be okay? Or
You're gonna like this one. It was after you went to Dollar Tree and you bought me all those little bracelets and rings and those.
yeah.
Because no one's made me feel pretty or bought me something so, like,
That's one of my favorite pictures. Yeah, I took a picture so
yeah.
happy.
I think he's
Wow.
nice to me. He buys me things.
That's depressing.
Yeah.
And we had no idea. Like, we had no idea. We kind of knew what condition you guys were living in because I know that, you guys wore diapers longer than you should have.
Yeah.
And it's just, the little things that where you're like, okay, they've had it rough and they've gone through a bunch of shit. So, like, how do we create a home that allows them to feel safe and deserving, of feeling loved and wanted? No, that's tough. I still remember with your brother Dominic, I went to pick him up to kindergarten, and we were walking away, and it was close to towards the end of the school year, and you guys had already been with us for a few months, and we're walking, and I've said this before. I'm pretty sure I've told you we're walking out, talking to him, holding his hand. And he yells over there. He's like, "Oh, that's my friend Oscar." And he yells at his friend. He's like, "Hey, Oscar, this is my dad." Like, he was all happy. And that was like the first time he said, "This is my dad." And then he looks up to me. He's like, "Oh, sorry, Uncle Peco. I said you were my dad." And I'm like, "You can call me whatever you want, And he's like, "Okay, I want to call you dad." I was like, "Okay, just be cool. Don't cry."
Don't cry.
But yeah, no, that's crazy.
No, I think Dom got a lot more comfortable calling you dad than I did. I don't
Do you think
think.
it's because maybe he knew that, like, his life, because he did go to kindergarten, and he had gone to when you guys came and moved in with us. He had gone. It was like half a school year, but he'd gone to like 4 different kindergarten schools, or maybe 5. So he hopped around. So I think he knew a little more what that the situation he was living in was not, normal is what I'm thinking. But who knows? I don't know what I don't want to speak for him, but yeah, like you eventually felt like you were part of a family.
Hmm. Yeah.
Did you miss your biological parents? I mean, you have to. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, I
You know what I
did.
mean?
Um, I did on a level because when I started being loved by you and mom, it was weird, and then at the same time, I didn't want it. Like I missed the independence and the alone time I got, and I think that's what I missed the most about them, like them leaving me alone.
You miss just being by yourself.
Yeah, just me and Dom. I
What
think
did
I
you have?
missed
Did you have any like coloring books or anything, or were
We
you
didn't
bare?
have anything. We had toys. Like occasionally we'd get toys. And that's what we would play with. But if we weren't playing with anything, me and Dom would like go out and find crayons or pencils and we'd draw on the walls because we had nothing to draw on. Like we wanted to. And I do remember we had neighbor kids. One of them, his name was Sam, and the other one, I think her name was Cassie. But they were siblings. And I remember, but we would always play with them a lot outside. Um, and usually they would share it with us, like their toys, their stuff. So I'd always want to hang out with them because I wanted what they had, what I couldn't have.
There's. I remember because I mean, you were 4.5, I think. But when you were around 2 years old, I think Myra and I went to visit you guys. You guys were living in Longview, Kelso
Hmm.
area. We went to visit you guys, and everyone was doing great. Like you guys had, I mean, you were two, so you're not gonna remember that, but you guys had like your own room. You had like Dominic had uh, like a race car bed. Like you had all the dolls and all the toys, and like you guys were good. But then, just unfortunately, drugs took over, and everything changed. And
Yeah.
it sucks that you had a lot, um, and they were providing, and I've always told you like your biological parents will always like they love you. They
Hmm.
just unfortunately sometimes we do things in life, and certain things take control over our lives that we can't. It's an illness. It's an addiction. It's something that it doesn't excuse anything at all. But it just sucked to see from afar like what was happening over there, and it never got better for them. You
Hmm.
know, as I mean, it's I don't know. I hope that they do well in life, but I'm glad that you guys are my children. I'm glad that I was able to provide that sense of family for you guys, and I don't know, I just feel like there's the love I have towards you and your two brothers is just a different kind of love, and I think it's hard for people to understand unless they've been in a situation like ours. When you have your old child, obviously you love them and they're, from you, they share your DNA. But when you raise children that are not yours biologically, I feel like the love is, and I don't, I love all my kids the same, but the love is different. The relationship is different with each one of you.
Hmm.
The love is the same. Like I couldn't choose one over the other, but I feel like it's different. It's a different kind of love. It's a different kind of not love. It's a different connection. And when
Hmm.
you choose to love someone, not because they are, I guess I don't know how to explain this. Like the love I have towards you guys is like it's a real love. It's a love that I chose. Like I chose to love you guys. It's like you guys chose to love me. Like we didn't. It's nothing forced. It's organic. It's real. It's like an unbreakable love. Like it's something that, oh, I'm going to have to love this child because it is my kid. No, I want to love this child. I want this child to be mine. Like I want to give them, all the love that I didn't have. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's very hard to explain, but it just, I think when you guys do things, when you say things, when we go through, our life lessons, I think it hurts. It hurts me more when it has to do with you guys than anyone else.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I feel like you guys are deserving of pure love. It's the pure, genuine love. And I think if anyone listens to this and they have, adopted or raised someone that is not, doesn't share their DNA, like I think they will understand what I'm trying to say. Like that, it's just a different kind of love. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it does.
So then you guys are older, right? Then um, we, I go through a phase where you guys are older, and for one reason or another, things are not working out for your mother and I, and we get separated and eventually get divorced. What do you remember about that?
Um, I also remember a lot from then. Um, yeah, I think during that time, I was on mom's side because I would always see her cry, and I thought, what's happening to make mom cry? So I was very much on her side, even I didn't understand what was happening. I was just on her side a lot. Um, and I would see like you guys would go outside to get away from us so that you we wouldn't hear you fight. But me and Dawn, being the two small as we are, would find a way to see you hear. We would just mostly see you guys fighting. We couldn't hear anything.
Arguing.
Yeah, arguing.
'Cause when you say fighting, I feel like you're throwing blows. Not throwing
No,
blows.
arguing. Yeah, and I just didn't understand why you guys were fighting. So in my mind, biological parents like that kind of art was coming up again with you guys, and I thought our situation was gonna be how it used to be, which obviously scared me because I didn't want to go back to how it was. But I remember I was in the bathroom at the time. I don't know what I had. I think I had like a book or a coloring book. And I remember you opened the door to check on me because I was in there for a while. And I was just in there and you looked at me and you're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." And you're like, "Are you pooping?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And it was after you and mom had an argument. And I think I asked you if you were okay. I said, like, "Are you okay, Dad?" I think I asked that. And you're like, "Oh yeah, yeah, it's okay." And that's the main memory I remember. I don't know why it's very significant to me, but it is. No, I wasn't excited to poop. I
Okay.
wasn't excited to poop. um, but yeah, that I do remember that vividly for some reason. But yeah.
Then
And then you got your own house, and then mom went back to Mama Chili. That I remember. I remember going to mom's every weekend, and being with you during the week.
what was that like?
It was weird.
I was a sad man.
You were a very sad man. Adele was it. Adele was our
Adele
singer.
was like that is our album.
Yeah.
I think that album was very healing for me, and I think you guys know every word to every song
Yeah.
of that album.
Adele is probably that album, an album that will forever stay with me, I
Yeah,
think.
even though that's not your kind of music.
It's not my kind of music, but she is very healing, and I think I know I understand. Now that I'm older and I hear the lyrics, I'm like, okay, I see why Dad loved this music, why it healed him, a part of him that was
What was
broken.
that like living with me, single dad,
Um,
chaotic?
it was kind of chaotic, but it was also very fun because again, we got the independence that I missed because you were obviously working. And during the summer, it was just me and the boys home all the time, riding our bikes to the nearby convenience store, riding our bikes to the pool, or stopping by at the restaurant whenever you said we could. Like that, I like. I liked having that freedom. I think with my brothers. Yeah, it was very fun. I think I liked it a lot. I liked those years, even if they were very sad ones for you.
They were. It's like those are like. I mean, I'm glad. I mean, I'm not glad. I'm thankful for those years because they did they helped me grow up a lot too, and they helped me really realize what I wanted and didn't want in life. Like they made me very self focused person. I don't want to say selfish. I understood many things, and it was some of the darkest moments of my life, but also some of the best moments of my life. It was just all a big ball of shit show.
Yeah.
It was, I think you guys were good. You were taken care of. I made sure, obviously you three were my number one priority during those times. And I was very defensive and protective over you guys, like I wasn't before, I think. And I beat myself up about, just the fact that you guys had to go through all of that with me. And yeah, that was just I was hashtag sad boy during that time.
Take emo boy.
You guys were cool though. You guys were good. We had a good time and we would do fun things. And I think we still do. Obviously, it's just different because we're like a whole, family unit now with Courtney and the kids. But it definitely was different. I think it was nice. I think it was a nice little break that we all kind of needed. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. For me, it was just,
Whatever.
I was just having fun. I just enjoyed doing my everyday thing.
What's your worst memory of like when we lived by ourselves? Do you have a worst memory or you don't have any bad memories?
I think the only like awkward memory I can think of is when my dad showed up to our house. That was very awkward for me because I didn't know how to feel and I didn't know why he was there. Because it was after school one day. It was in the summer. It was close to end of school. And my cross-up lady, I remember her. I love that woman still.
Oh, that's I remember.
Miss Little. I remember her. She would always give me and Dominic chocolate chip zucchini muffins. My dad had parked by the street and he was yelling like Dom, Lily. So we turned because obviously we heard her names and there he was. I couldn't forget his face anymore. And I was weirded out, really awkward. I was like, why is he here? Like, because me and Dom were supposed to walk to the restaurant after school. And back then, me and Dom always wanted to be at the restaurant because we'd always get food. And we loved the food there. So I was annoyed because I was like, why are you here interrupting my restaurant time? And then another part of me was terrified because I'm like, what if he takes us back? I don't want to go back. I want to stay here. I want to stay with my dad. And Dom too, he looked very confused, very uncomfortable. And Miss Little didn't let him take us because he said, I'm going to take you to your house. And like your dad said it was okay, whatever. And I was like, oh, okay, that's weird, but okay.
What did she say?
She didn't let him take him. She's like, if you're not their guardian, like you can't take them. So he didn't take us. He said he would like come see us later. I think the school called you.
Yeah,
Told
I
him
remember
about
that.
it. Yeah.
That freaked the shit out of me.
Yeah. I remember sitting in the school waiting for you. And then you came, picked us up, went to the house. And then Oscar came back, like he said he would, for once. And it was really weird, uncomfortable. I didn't know what to feel or do or say around him. I'm very ashamed to admit it, but I didn't call you Dad the whole time he was there. I went back to calling you Tio Peco. I'm very ashamed now that I'm older because I didn't call you Dad because I wanted to protect his feelings.
Yeah, I never even really.
I don't think you really noticed it, but
I mean, I'm sure I did. I just didn't. I mean, I can't. I can't. It just.
yeah. But now that I'm older and I know, I am very embarrassed because I'm like, why was I protecting his feelings when he should have been protecting mine from the beginning?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would call him Dad, and I would call you Uncle Peco, Tio Peco. And then when he was gone again, I was guilty. I just felt so guilty, so like disgusted with myself. Cause Dom didn't stop calling you Dad. They did dating. I was like, but yeah, it was just
That's your motherly instinct, like just to protect people's feelings. And
yeah.
make them
I wanted to protect him for some unknown reason.
Obviously, I have a strong personality,
Yeah.
strong character. Let me see. So, how do you think that my personality, my character, um, shaped you as a kid? Like how did you navigate that? You know, obviously, because I think it's one thing. I think that as parents, it's very important for us to recognize that the way we are, no matter how perfect you think you are as a parent, um, everyone parents different. Everyone has a different way of being. Um, everyone has a different, way of raising their children. But I think it's very powerful when we as parents recognize that we are not perfect, that we're just sometimes going with the flow and learning as we go, or sometimes we're stubborn and we feel that this is the way it should be. And yeah, I don't care if you like whether you like it or not, this is what's going to happen and this is how it's going to be. But I think when you're honest with yourself and understand that, we're growing at the same time as our children are growing, and, whatever we think is the right way of doing things changes. If you just take a step back and realize that we all just suck at lifing sometimes. How do you think my personality shaped you as a kid or affected you as a kid?
Let me see. Well, I don't think I really noticed it as a kid, but now that I'm older, I can definitely see the how you affected me as a kid. 'Cause as a kid, I was like, it's just my dad being him, whatever.
We judge and we judge.
We judge and we judge. When I was a kid, I wanted to be like you
Mm.
in every way. I think because you would always like surprise me with something new about yourself that I didn't know about, and I was like, I want to be like that. I want to do that too. Like when you first started painting, I was like, dang, I want to be able to paint like him. I want to be an artist like him. That was a big part, I think, as when I was a kid.
Why you like art?
hmm And then just
I never knew that.
yeah, no. When you started drawing the kraken tentacles on our wall,
Hmm.
I was like, I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to paint that good. And just for obviously your strong personality, I got a lot of. I got a lot of. I'm a um, very like, how do I say that?
Vocal,
I'm very vocal.
opinionated.
Yes, I'm very those. I'm very opinionated on everything and anything. Um, and when we were young, I would like now that I'm older, I was able to see how you would protect yourself, your own feelings. And I did get that from you because I do try. I don't like doing things that might hurt me. Um, because I don't want to feel the hurt that I used to when I was a kid.
One thing
Um,
I noticed that you did a lot when you were little, and obviously I think we talked about this later in your later teens. You love to read, and you love
mhm,
reading fantasies and just everything. You're just a big
I
old
still do.
bookworm. And I always loved that about you. I was always proud to, my daughter loves to read. But when I found out why you like to read and how it would take you away from your reality that was your life and all your traumas, that was so heartbreaking for me. I think it's such a powerful thing when someone can open up a book and it takes them to a world away from theirs where they can just be and dream and think whatever it is, and it just takes them away from their real problems or their life or whatever. But at the same time, it was just depressing that you've had so many traumas that the reason you like books was because of that. And I think it's a beautiful thing that we're able to do that, but it's also a sad thing that you had to open up a book to take you somewhere away
hmm
from your pain.
Yeah, yeah. Even now, I still adore reading. I love it. I'm always constantly. I have a giant list on my notes of books I want, of things I want to read. But yeah, I've always loved reading. It was my escape from reality. Because I would read and I would be like, I want to be this person. I want to be this character in the book. And I would pretend I was that character, that I was that person, that their life was mine. And I still do that now that I'm older. I still read and I still like fantasize. This is me. I'm this character in this book. Even though like my life is good. Like
Yeah.
I'm good with you guys. But just that part of my brain that wants to explore other options, other ideas, fantasize about things still.
Yeah, it's healthy. It's good.
Mhm.
I think it's great. I just think it was for me, it was just depressing to know that like my daughter was, you know, diving deep into a story or a series of books that took her away from, obviously that's what you want. You want a book to take you somewhere where you may never be or never visit, etc.,
Mhm.
and explore and learn and travel without leaving your bedroom, right? That's what you want. But then, you know, there's something very depressing about, you know, the fact that, you know, I don't know if that makes sense. You know, just it sucks that like our life sucks sometimes, so much so that we have to read a book to get us away, you know, where it should be
Mhm.
like, you know, we have a life, but this book, you know, takes you to
Yeah.
new places. And I think you've struggled, I think you still struggle with this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that you've always struggled with self identity. I think that, like, deep down inside, you know who you are, but I feel that sometimes you may pretend to be a certain way around different people just to please them, and you lose your self identity in the process. Like, how do you feel? Do you feel like you found yourself? Do you think you know who you are, like more than just like, okay, I'm Liliana, this is what I like, blah
Mhm.
blah. Like, do you think you really know Liliana? Because I can tell you from my personal experience is just in the past, you know, 3 4 years, I feel like even 2 years, I feel like I finally like, okay, this is who Humberto is.
Yeah. I don't think I'll know who I really am for a long time. I can only, like I say, fantasize about the person I want to be. But I'm not like too busy trying to find who I am because I think this next chapter in my life will help me find out who I am.
I love that. Yeah, you're not forcing anything, you know. I
Hmm.
think as long as we know that who we are today, whether we're happy or we're not, doesn't necessarily mean that that's who we will always be. I think if we just understand that there are different phases in life, there are different phases within us that we develop, you know, with our experiences. And I think if we understand that, I guess just never get comfortable with and accept 100% like the way your life is. I think if we just, you know, understand that, okay, we are going to learn from our failures, we're going to learn from our mistakes, but we're also going to learn from our successes, right? So, yeah, I think just don't get too comfortable because
Yep.
then you end up dying inside. But when you just, you know, are open to discovering yourself and understand, okay, well, I've always thought this way, and I always thought this is the way to do things, or this is the way I should be in a relationship, or this is what I should do at work or whatever with my kids, with my friends. You know, when you start realizing, okay, no, like that's not what I want to do. That's not the kind of person I want to be. Like, this doesn't bring me joy.
Mhm.
This doesn't bring any happiness. This doesn't make me feel good. And we just have to adapt with what we feel inside.
Yeah.
It's like love. Like love is different every day. Love is something that grows. If you're with someone and you love them, and 2 years pass, 3 years pass, and you obviously still love them, but it's the same love. Like, something is not working. Like, it needs to be a different kind of love. Like, love is, you know, layers and different. You know, I love this person and this is how I show my love, and a year, 2 years pass and I still love this person, but you know, it's a different layer, it's a different kind of love, it's a different, you know, it's just an evolving thing,
Yeah.
you know. I don't know. I've seen you grow into the person you are today. Obviously, you said you were stubborn. You're very stubborn. I think you and Dominic are a lot like me. You're like the male version of Umberto. And that's what scares me, I think, the most. The female version of Umberto. You're the female version of Umberto. And I think that's what scares me the most is, but I'm also proud of like who you are because you are if I look at 18-year-old Humberto and 18-year-old Lily, like I would much rather be 18-year-old Liliana, because when I was 18, I was very lost. I was a lost boy.
Hmm.
I thought he knew everything and didn't. And I think that's where a lot of my protection comes from. And I don't, I know probably you, you know, you say helicopter mom. I'm definitely a helicopter dad. Um, but I don't regret any of it. Um, do I wish I would have done things a little different? Yeah, 100%. Like if I could go back 10 years, I would definitely be a different person with what I know now. You guys have seen me like in different phases, and I am a better dad. I would like to say I'm a better dad today than I was 5 years ago, than I was 10 years ago, just because I'm growing, and sometimes it sucks and I feel guilt for how I am with like Monroe or Cruz or even Dayton sometimes, because that you guys are experiencing and witnessing a different dad. You know, like the dad I am with Lily, with Monroe and Cruz is a different dad that I was with, you know, Lily and Dominic, and it's just, you know, you grow as a person. So obviously, like if I was the same way, then something like brother, you need to grow or something because
Hmm.
and a lot of people stay the same and they don't grow and they don't evolve. It just really sucks, and I feel guilt for that. But at the same time, I know that even having conversations with Dominic, I know that you guys understand that my situation was different 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Um, it's just, you know, and it happened with Dayton when we were building that treehouse for Cruz. Dayton always wanted a treehouse. He would always bug me for a treehouse. And you know, it was hard for me to do it. One, I didn't have the money or the time. I mean, I still don't have the money and the time. But, you know, when we started building that treehouse for Cruz,
Hmm.
it helped me put it together. And I remember, you know, while we were building it, telling him, like, hey, Mijo, like, I'm so sorry that I never did this for you. Because I felt so guilty that I was having my youngest boy, uh, Dayton. He's not my youngest, but I just felt so guilty that, you know, Big Dayton was helping me build a house for Cruz, a tree house that
Little Dayton
little
one.
Dayton wanted.
Hmm.
And it was just, I felt so guilty. I felt like the biggest piece of shit. And I told him, I'm like, hey, I'm so sorry that like I was never able to build that treehouse for you. And here you are helping me build a treehouse for your youngest brother. And he got it, I think. I think he gets it. I think it sucks because he wishes he had a treehouse growing up. But I think he understood and he told me, like, no, I get it, Dad.
Yeah.
And just having those different things, like how, you know, I am with Monroe. And then I also have to remind you guys, like, okay, maybe you don't remember, but like you know, I would buy you things and do things with you. And you go to the store and like, you know what I mean? I think it's easier for me to go to the store now and say, okay, we can grab something, because there were times when we go to the store and we couldn't grab anything. But we always tried to make the best of it, I think. How do you see it?
No, I see it the way you do, where it's like, I think Dom and I get it. Our situation then when we were young was a lot harder for you than it is now, where you're secure in your person and what you want to do with your life. So it's not like we don't hold it against you at all. Where it's not like we like hate that you treat us different than how you treat them. But like I see it as you're treating Cruz, Monroe, and Skylar the way you wished you could for us, the way you couldn't,
Treating's not the, because when
or
you say, or maybe it is,
like loving maybe is
not
better.
loving, because I think I loved you guys when you were little.
Oh
But
yeah.
like love has always been there.
Mhm.
Treatment, when I say that, maybe it is treatment. That's, I'm not trying to like, I want to validate however you're feeling, but I want to make sure that I understand, because when you say treating, like I treated you guys all the same, but I think it's more of like, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong. I think it could be like their experiences are different than your
That's the
experiences.
word. Yes, experiences.
You know, You guys didn't get to experience a treehouse.
Hmm.
You know, they do. You guys didn't experience camping as much. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Those experiences, little getaway experiences. Like there's a lot of experiences that they have had growing up that you didn't have.
Yeah. And I think that part of me is jealous of that.
Hmm.
Like, I wish I could have had that growing up. So it sounds horrible, but I'm jealous of my younger siblings for having what I couldn't as a kid. Like, I still love them, all three of them,
Because they
all
have a very safe
all five of them.
environment.
And I think, like, I know that they have like a healthy, stable environment growing up in. And like the little kid in me is jealous because
Hmm.
I wanted that growing
Hmm.
up. And you and mom gave it to me the best you could, and you did give it to me at to like you know, and yeah.
But then it changed. Then I met Courtney.
And then you met Courtney.
How was that?
It was really weird, but I loved that woman to death. It was weird. Um, I think what won me over for Courtney was her giving me Rio.
Really? And that was like
Yeah.
right in the beginning. This was before even,
Yeah.
we were just dating at the time.
Yeah. Because you wouldn't get me a dog. And that was all I wanted. Like, you would ask me what I wanted for Christmas, and all I put was a
Dog.
dog. And I think that was the first time like Courtney came over. I think it was just her and Rio. She brought Rio, and like I don't think I really talked to her a lot when she came
Mm-hmm.
over. I was just happy to see the dog. I was just excited because there was a dog at our
Mm-hmm.
house. I loved that dog to death. That dog was the best dog ever, and no one could convince me otherwise. I remember putting clothes on that dog, my clothes, and you get so mad at me. um, no, I love that dog. But yeah, I definitely saw the change in you after you met Courtney.
Like how?
Like you seem to understand your own happiness,
Mm-hmm.
to like accept that I'm happy. I can be happy with this person. Because obviously I grew up like you were dating a few other people before her, and I remember them.
A few.
I remember
Best
them.
dad ever.
I remember them. Um, yeah, I remember them. Which is a little weird for me, like remembering the past people you used to date, and then seeing that Courtney stuck. Courtney stuck for you, which is,
I can't get rid of her.
gosh, no. But I did see like you were a lot happier, a lot like you were able to like spend more time with us because of her. And like little me loved that because I was like I always wanted to be around you. I always wanted to, you know, just share those things with you. So I loved that Courtney was able to do that for us as kids. Um, but she did weird me out because I'm like, why is it so hard to talk to her? Like, she won't talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's not how do I say this?
She's not social.
She's not social. She's very reclusive about some things. And I couldn't understand it. And I thought she didn't like me because she wouldn't talk to me whenever I tried. But, at some point I realized it's just how she is. She's not social. But, like, yeah, I love Courtney. And I, you know, I never showed it. I was always, and I hate that I never did growing up in my like teen years, my younger years when she came into my life. And I regret not doing that for her because she has done so much for me growing up, and I never showed her that. And I wish I could have because like I know what she's done for me and I can see what she's done for me. And younger me didn't appreciate it. Didn't show her that I appreciated her
Did you
for
ever
it.
feel like you? Did you ever feel like you wanted to call her mom, or you just never felt comfortable enough to call her mom?
I've wanted to call her mom many times, and I still call her mom. I call her mom when I'm referring to her to someone. I'll be like, "Oh yeah, my mom." And just yesterday, I caught myself calling her mom at my mom and Shirley's house at the gathering. And I didn't feel bad for it at all. I'm like, I'll call her mom because she's my mom. Like I was talking to Alonzo, He goes, "Hey, did you ask Courtney if Chris can come over?" I'm like, "Yeah, I talked to my mom, like, and like she said she'll like we'll see." And my mom was there, and she heard me call Courtney mom, and I don't think it makes her mad. I don't think
That's
she's hurt by it. And if she is, then
yeah,
I'm gonna call her mom. And she's done everything a mom would do, and she cares how a mom should.
yeah. What about Skylar?
I love that little girl. She's the best thing ever.
How she was 3 years old when we
Yes,
moved in
she
together.
was. I remember meeting her for the first time. That was weird. Because I wasn't used to having a girl around. I was used to being the only girl growing up with a bunch of boys.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really weird for me to have a girl there.
Yeah, she really looks up to you. Like she loves you.
Yeah, I love that kid.
Yeah, she's very emotional when she talks about you.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Skylar.
She's usually stone cold with me.
And she's like that with everyone.
Yeah.
She's the best.
Like when we hang out together, when we're in a
It's just you
room,
two.
and it's just us two, and we're bonding.
She loves it.
We love it. We love doing that. Like we'll be playing games together, listening.
Did you ever feel like Courtney, like when we moved in? Did you ever feel like she didn't belong, or did you feel like she was trying to take you away from me? Did you ever feel that from her?
No, I didn't. I think I just saw that Courtney was better for you than Mom was. So I was okay with Courtney having you. But when I was young, admit that I felt like Skylar was taking my place for you because I wasn't used to it. I wasn't used to you
Sharing.
sharing that love for me that you had with her. And I didn't like it. It was weird. I didn't know how to feel about it.
Very normal feeling, I think, to have.
Yeah, but Skylar got older, I got older. So whatever.
Yeah, it took a while for you guys because you were,
Her and I were not on good
uh,
terms for the long
you
time.
guys were, you were mean to her.
Yeah,
Poor
we
Skylar.
were mean to each other. Yeah, we did not like each other at some point. But at some point, I
I know
think
something. It just I remember like because I would see it, and I remember I don't know when it was, but it was just
I
like a
don't either.
click.
I think it was like before I moved to Pickleton.
Yeah, it was because I remember. I remember. I don't remember when it was, but I remember like when it clicked. We were having a conversation. I was having a conversation with Grandma about it, and she said something. I'm like, no, like this is what's going on, and she's like, really, like, and then that's when we started noticing like things were changing between you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, no. It's just somewhere. We were both just like, why do we hate each other? Like why do we not like each other? Like we're literally like almost the same person. Like, but like somewhere along the way, we just started like hanging out more, talking more, bonding more, doing things more. Um, and now like it's hard for me to even picture how we weren't like that.
yeah, yeah. It's a lot. I mean, you're bringing two families in. So Courtney and I have three. She has one. We move in. That's six of us.
Mm-hmm.
Then she's pregnant with Cruz. We
Chris.
have Cruz. Oh, Cruz. And then we have Monroe. So it's just like it was one
After another.
life event after another life event after you know what I
Yeah.
mean. So it's a lot of change going on, a lot of disruption.
A lot of chaos.
Party of eight, you know,
Yeah.
and it's just it's crazy. I remember. I mean, yeah, like I knew with you and Skylar how that was, especially you being a girl, her being a girl, and then I've always felt like I had to be a little extra with her just because she grew up as an only child. And here come us four, and we're rowdy as hell. We're just loud and
Not tamed.
no, and then we come, we come with extended family, like my siblings, nieces, and nephews. Like we're all just like a fucking wild zoo. We love each other. So that was a huge culture shock for Skylar. Skylar's only three, right? So and we've talked about this before, and she doesn't remember a time without us. Like her
Mm-hmm.
life, her memories, we exist in all of her memories. She doesn't. There's no, pre or before,
Yeah.
Rodriguez
It
Glenn.
was just us.
It's been this way, But
Yeah.
as a child, I remember seeing her, and I could tell. I mean, things that probably she doesn't remember, but I could tell there was some discomfort. There was some like, okay, who's this guy? Who are these kids? Why is my mom feeding these kids? Why is my mom, doing things with these kids? Why is my mom, you know? And why? Who's this man? Why is, he always around my mom? And why are we living together? Like all those things. Like
Hmm.
I just always felt like, I had to somehow over, you know, I had to protect and make sure she felt safe around all of us because it was a huge culture shock. And you guys, as kids, you guys don't know what we do and the decisions we make as adults. You guys sometimes end up having to suffer for the decisions parents make, right? So I just
Hmm.
wanted to make sure I protected that space for everyone. And like, okay, well, this person needs a little extra attention than this person. This
Hmm.
person knows I've got them. You know, and then Courtney is very reserved. Like she's just gonna be the way she is with everyone. There's no
Hmm.
favorites, although there are favorites, but she'll never say who.
I think I know.
But yeah, it's just yeah. Skylar's gone through it too. Skylar, she's a good kid. She knows we love her.
Yeah. She's the coolest.
Let's see. Okay, so this is a good one because I'm reading through. Like I have some. So, what is one thing you wish I understood about you growing up, or even now?
Well, right now there's one, and that would be my relationship with Zoe.
Hmm.
I know you don't like him very much.
Why do you think I don't like him?
Um, I don't think you. I know you don't like him because like sometimes he will hurt me. And not all the time it's intentional. He's still learning how to love properly. And I don't think you want me to find someone who doesn't know how to love her yet. Sometimes I think you only see the bad in him because you want me to find someone whole and complete. Like you found in Courtney, I think. But I think that aspect of my relationship is like something I don't think you will understand yet. I don't know. Because I know you have a lot of feelings about it, a lot of opinions,
Yeah.
and I want you to accept him because I love him and I have for a long time. Even if, we don't agree on a lot of things or our views on life are different, but I care about him deeply. And like my love for him isn't a desperate one. Like I love him, and if he decides or thinks that, ours isn't it, okay, that's okay. Like I'll still love him as a person.
And that's the hardest part for me is like indirectly, I've always, you say there's good things and bad things, right? But you've never shared good things with me. Like somehow
Yeah.
I feel like I've just been, privy to like the bad things, like the ones where like the controlling things and the hurtful things. And like I've told
Yeah.
all of you guys, and I will always say it, like I don't care who you're with. And I know you're going to make whatever decisions you want to make and you're going to be with whoever you want to be. Again, I don't get to choose your partner for you. But if I feel that your partner is hurting you and is not loving you or makes you feel, like you're doing something wrong when you're not, like that's where I feel that as a dad, it's my job to make sure that you guys understand that love doesn't have to hurt that way, right? And
Hmm.
you're going to have to grow and learn and navigate life and come into, your own self love and all of that. It's just really hard for me. I don't know the kid enough
Hmm.
to like him.
Yeah.
I know him enough to not like him because what I know of him and my experiences with him have always been negative. And, they've always been experiences where you're hurt or you
Yeah.
cry or you're scared or you're like sick or whatever. Like those are my experiences. Like my experiences are those, like you. Those are my experiences. And
Yeah.
I don't, it's hard for me
And
to feel any other way when that's all I've had.
yeah. And a big part of that is my fault. Just part of me, it's really hard for me to share good things about him because a part of me feels like you would judge and see the negative in it anyway.
Hmm.
Um, like I share good things about him with my brothers. They're the main people I talk to about him. And, they they know about the good in him and they know about the bad that, I've experienced with him. But just for some reason, it's hard for me to share the good with you about him. And that is my fault for not sharing when I should have, for talking about it when I should have,
Hmm.
because, I I wish I did share the good with you.
I know, yeah, and it's hard for me, Miha, because like it's hard for me because
Yeah,
I don't know what I don't know.
yeah,
I just know what I know,
yeah,
and what I know is not it's not no bueno.
yeah, and I still beat myself up about it, about not talking to you about it or opening up about it. Um, and still to this day, it's hard for me to talk and open up about it because I don't want you to judge him or because I know you. I'm your daughter. I'm just like you.
Yeah, and that's I think that's one of the hardest things for me is just, and I don't think it's judging. I think it's understanding. And um, I'm not saying I don't know the kid enough. I don't know the kid enough to form a solid opinion. I've had very little interactions with him. It's just, my experiences have not, like, I don't
Yeah.
know. I
Hmm.
don't know. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I think that the interactions I've had with him have been, have not been good.
Hmm.
The stuff that has happened has not been good.
Hmm.
The things that I've read have not been good. The things that you've told me have, like, it's just really hard for me. Like, I wish, like, I don't want you, at the end of the day, you're going to be with whoever you want to be. And I will respect whoever you're with in life. Like, whoever you guys choose to be with, I will respect. And, but right now, I mean, obviously you guys aren't married, you're not living together. Like, there's none
Hmm.
of that, I don't know. So for me to form an opinion on someone where all I have is, I can write down all the things I know about this kid,
Yeah.
the pros and cons. There
Yeah.
are no pros. I have no pros to write down just because I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do want you to know. I want you to know him as a person the way I know him. Because him too, it's hard for him to open up. It's hard for him to talk about things, to express things to someone he doesn't know. And I've had conversations with him, and he wishes he could get to know like you and Courtney. But I think I hold him back from that a little bit because I'm scared of like what the outcome will be. And
Do you think it's like, what are you scared of? Do you think, I mean, you say you know me, right? And you obviously know me. Like, you are
yeah,
my daughter. And we go back, and I have to push all of these. I have to push all my kids to their limit, and I want to make sure that they're thinking things through. Like,
hmm,
I know that, sometimes we hold ourselves back from
yeah,
jumping into something because deep down inside maybe we know,
yeah. I think no, I know. I'm scared that if you get to know him the way I know him and the way my brothers have heard about him, that even then you won't accept him as my partner.
why.
I don't know. I think I've just
Do you think he just won't communicate with me, or he'll just
no.
make it awkward, or
I don't think that would be the case for him because he wants to get to know my family. He wants to get to know and see inside of a life that is ours. And, you know, he wants to be around you guys, to get to know you guys, to, you know, have experiences with you
Mm.
guys. But just a part of me is scared that you will still reject him even after you know him. Because, you know, I don't want that to happen. I want you guys not to, like, love him the way I do, but, like, I want you guys, like, to care for him on a level and just, you know, see him as a person, like, the way I do. But that's just a fear I have that even then you guys won't accept him.
Yeah. No, I get that. I feel that it's hard. I mean, you can say that, but I go back to like I don't know what I don't know. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And if we live like that, then
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing I can't do anything about changing my perspective or idea on someone, on who they are, if I don't know them.
Yeah.
You know, and
And
and you're about to bounce, and like it never
yeah.
happened. You know what I mean? And this is like something that can't happen in 2 days or 3 days or 4 days or a week.
Yeah.
Like this is something that you know
Yeah.
it takes time. You know, and when all my experience have been the way that they've been with this person, like it's hard for me to see past that because there's nothing. I don't have anything. You know what I mean? And my daughter is telling me that she loves this person, and I believe it. I believe that you love this person, but
Yeah.
there's nothing for me to hold on to other than my daughter is saying that she loves this person.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah. And
mean?
I wish I did things differently about this one.
Mm.
There are a lot of things I wish I did differently about it. But, you know, I do want to integrate him with us. I think, like, you know, for a while, for like maybe half a year, I've been
Mm.
wanting, you know, him, like, I want you to get to know him and do all these things. But, you know, like, it's a little hard with, like,
Mm.
how the distance is for us.
And it's gonna get harder too.
And it's gonna get harder.
Like it's like when are we gonna meet this kid?
Yeah.
Like I mean I know this kid, but like when are we gonna have
Yeah.
time? We're not gonna have like it's hard. You
Yeah.
know, it'll be years from now before we can actually spend some time. If you know what I mean, like it
Mhm.
doesn't. That
Yeah.
sucks.
And, you know, that's what I regret the most is not doing it a lot sooner. That, you know, it took me this long to do it. And it wasn't very, you know, I shouldn't have. I should have
Mm.
done it a lot sooner. And I wish I did. Because, you know, yeah, I want something with this person. Yeah, and it's
Is it
not.
just hard because you guys are in totally different, like, I guess, chapters in you guys' life, like your personal life, like apart from each other, you guys are totally like in different, you know?
I don't know. With like the difference of our chapters right now, you know, is very different. Like, I'm starting my career, my life right now, and he's, you know, still like barely gonna start his, like this summer. So I think that is really hard too. But, you know, I think, like, how do I say this? I think it's a big factor of, you know, not being on the same, like, chapter as each other.
Because you guys have a lot to grow up, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that
And
too.
and it's just, and a lot of times, like we grow up with our partners. You know,
Hmm.
we learn to, you know, we become different people alongside our partners, and we grow together and all of that stuff. It's just it's really hard. My biggest thing is that I don't want any of my kids to get hurt. You know, I don't
Hmm.
want, you know, I understand that you're gonna have to do whatever it is that you're gonna do in life, and I get that. And you're gonna have to forge your own future. Like you're gonna have to figure it out on your own. And I'm not gonna be there. You know,
Yeah.
at some point, someone else is gonna be there. I just really hope that my kids end up with humans that are there to catch them when they fall and
Yeah.
help them up, and are not the reason why they fall. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Because life throws a bunch of blows at us, and we just have to surround ourselves with people that they're going to add to that and help and support. And I just feel like I don't know. I think that's going to be something and I hope I'm wrong. Like with all this stuff, like I hope I'm wrong, but I think it's something that you guys are definitely going to struggle with. If you know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
something you're going to struggle with because you're going to be away,
Yeah.
and at such young age when you're growing into who you want to become or who you're going to become, there are a lot of needs that we want when we're 18, 19, 20. If we don't have a partner next to us, that makes it hard. You're going to look
Mhm.
for stuff somewhere else. You hate to think that, like, obviously, when you love someone, like, like that this love is strong and this, but it's just like life is just tough. And when you don't have that system, that family support system, where we haven't built anything with this kid, where he could,
Mhm.
come to the house and hang out with us, and you're not there, and just be part of the family, and
Yeah.
like that sucks.
I know.
And I wish I would have been in a position where I could have been like, hey, like, tell him to come over, tell him to come out, hang out. We're gonna do these things. But like, in my
Yeah.
mind, like, why am I gonna tell my daughter to invite someone that these are all the things I know about him and that's it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It sucks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I know.
It
I
sucks.
did it to
Yeah.
myself.
Well, yeah, yeah. Only time will tell. Like,
Mhm.
it's you know. At the end of the day, it's I want all my kids to be good. I want you to be good. I'm proud of like who you've become. Yeah. If you could go back and tell little Lily something, 6-year-old Lily, 5-year-old Lily, let's go with 5-year-old Lily. If you could go back and tell 5-year-old Lily something, what would you tell her?
I don't know. I don't think I would tell her anything.
No?
No. I think either way, I think if I didn't tell little me anything, I would still be the same person I am today.
Like, if you could go back and tell little Lily like some comforting words, because little Lily, 5-year-old Lily was going through it.
Mhm.
I mean,
Um,
18-year-old Lily is going through it right now too, but you know what I mean? Like, 5-year-old
um,
Lily is going through, like, hey, like, here comes 18-year-old Lily, like, hey, homegirl,
yeah, I think I would just tell her she'll be okay. She'll be okay. You're safe in the future.
you're safe.
You're safe. Yeah.
Let's see. Fast forwarding and fast forward into the future. Where do you see yourself? Like, what do you want for adult Lily?
Like how old? Like
Let's say 35.
35. Well, I hope to be retired by then. From my job.
Good luck.
I know. Yeah, I hope to be retired from my job. And then to pursue a job that I've been wanting. Like, I was just like a little side job for a while. Like I've always, which is tattoo artist. I've always wanted to do that. Like after the one I've chosen. Yeah, I want to live somewhere like exotic, like somewhere not in the States. Like I want to be, like as much as I love my family, I want to be away from it. I want to build myself something somewhere else
Yeah.
that I can call like my place. And I don't want kids. So, I don't plan on having any. If that changes in the future, it
It
changes.
changes, yeah.
But as of now, I don't. I want to enjoy my time for
Mm.
me. And if that's with a partner, it's with a partner. And if it's not, it's not. It's just me.
And that's one thing I envy about you, and one thing like I feel like I'm gonna vicariously live through you is like I do see you living somewhere far away. I do see you having a life in a really cool place. See you. I feel like you're too big for our little town. Like, I love. This is where I belong. I feel like this is where I belong. I feel like
Hmm.
this is where I'm going to die. Like, this is it for me, and I love it. This is what I want. Um, but out of all my kids, I think you're the one kid that I see just living abroad somewhere, or just like this is not like for you.
Hmm.
You need more culture, more experience, more freedom, more everything.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I can't wait to see what that looks like because, Courtney and I have talked about it, and it'll be cool to use that as an excuse to get out of here.
Hmm.
We're gonna go hang out with Lily for a few days. Like, oh, just 2 days max, please. But it'll be cool because I mean, I think wherever you are, like obviously you know how we are. We'll just get a hotel somewhere and
Yeah.
go out for lunch, and just
Hmm.
you can tell us what to do and where to go.
Yeah.
And just to be, it'll be cool. I can't wait for that. And I don't think you'll have kids. I really don't. I feel that maybe one day you may adopt a kid that's older or something, where you don't have to go through all the phases of
Hmm.
diapers and shit. But I don't know. Whatever that holds for you is whatever that holds for you. Like I'm just happy that I get to see that, and live those life experiences that you're gonna live that we were never able to do. Yeah, that's exciting. Let's see. How do you want our relationship to be overall? Like, how do you envision that? Like, how do you think our relationship could be? Like, you're 40, I'll be 60, 70.
Well, I've seen how like your relationship is with your dad, and that's not one I would want with
Like,
you at all. And then I see how Tito and Tito Juan's relationship is. They act like 60-year-old men with each other, and I kind of want that with us, where it's like we can shit talk to each other about anything, and like we do anyway. But like when we're old and crusty.
we have that. I think, yeah, I think it's.
Yeah, I think I'd want us to stay as close as we are. Because, we're both very opinionated, very, very stubborn. And it's gonna get worse with our
I
age,
can't
I
wait for
bet.
that. Just
It's
grumpy
gonna
old
get
people
worse with our
talking
age.
shit. Like my mom was like that with my grandpa.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we're probably gonna stay the same. I do too.
I think when I get old, old, old and senile, I think you're gonna be around.
Yeah.
Whether you live far away or not, I think you're gonna make an effort to.
Yeah, and I'm definitely gonna try. Like, 'cause, I've seen how my family has been hurt, being ignored by one another. You know who I'm
Hmm.
talking about. And I don't want to do that to them. I want to be a constant presence in their life because, I know that they care and I know that they want to be a part of mine too. So, I'm always going to try to be a part of their life.
Is there someone you look up to in life? Like, oh, I want to be like that. Like, because to me, it's Sonny, like Papa. Like, I want to be Papa when I get older.
Hmm. Yeah. I I'm I looked up to grandma a lot. I saw how she made her own life the way she wanted it with no bullshit in it.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I loved that about her. And I see it in Courtney too.
Yeah,
I love that about Courtney. Like, yeah. And I also see it in Marbella.
Marbella too.
Yeah. Marbella is just living where it takes her.
Hmm.
And I love that about her.
Well, that's
And
gonna be you here in a week. You're gonna be just
yeah.
doing your thing.
Yeah. But I think those three people are very, influential for me.
That's awesome. If I were to die tomorrow, like, what's one thing you would want me to know?
I farted on your pillow one day. You
Remember you
got
had
pink eye.
pink eye?
No,
Yeah, one time you had pink eye, and
that was me.
that's funny.
No. Um, I don't know. I think you know almost everything about me and how my brain functions and how I function that there's nothing to tell.
You hate that about me, huh?
No,
You don't hate that I know everything. Like
I don't
like.
hate it, but I also don't love it. Because, I don't like when people know me that much enough. But I like that it's you because, you're my dad. I'd want you to know what I can't tell.
Mm,
What I can't say in words, you know by my actions. That's, I think, what I like about us. Because, my brothers are not great at that stuff either.
at like sharing feelings and stuff like that.
Yeah, especially Dominic. He's not great at it. Which is okay. It's just, how,
If you could tell Dominic something,
what a
like,
piece of shit. No, I'm kidding.
if you could tell him something, like, what would be something that you wish he knew? Like, you like out of your heart, like that you can't tell him to his face because he'll just be like, eh.
He will always be my protector, I
Mm,
think. I've always seen him as it.
mm.
And I'm always grateful that he was my person that protected me as kids. I don't think I can ever tell. I still see him as my protector, as my older brother, even though he's an asshole sometimes. I still love him. I still see him as
He
that. And
loves you.
yeah, and I don't think that will ever change for me, how I view him.
What about Dayton?
No, he's a douche. That one's different. Dayton, him and I have a weird one, I think, because he wants to be dominant, and I just want, and I think with me, I still see really, like, I think with me, I still see, little me and little Dom. And that's, I think that's how I still see me and Dom. And, it's weird for me for Dayton to kind of be in the middle of that because, it's always, in my mind, it's always me and Dom. Like, don't get me wrong, I still see Dayton in the picture. But with him, it's just different. Like, I don't,
The age difference, just everything.
yeah, I think so. And just his views on life are very different from mine. And me and Dom relate more to each other's views on life than I do with him.
Dayton's more stubborn, huh?
Yes, that, but he's also easier to talk to than Dominic is. And that's what I like about me and him. Because Dominic is very whatever when you talk about things, but Dayton will give you genuinely what he thinks and how he feels. Which is what I like about Dayton.
He's gonna miss you more than
Mm.
than he's willing to admit. He won't
Yeah,
admit it, but he's gonna miss you, and
yeah,
I think it's gonna mess with him a lot.
I don't think he'll miss me as much as he missed Dom.
I don't know.
Because, Dom's his idol. So, I think with Dominic's, it really messed him up.
That's just life.
Yeah,
We all have to grow up and go off and do our own thing.
yeah.
What's one thing you'd want to tell Skylar?
Scott is very influential on me too. And I didn't know at the time.
You care about what she says.
Yeah, I do. I care about her opinion, and I try to do things for her because, I'm not great at showing my siblings that I care about them. I'm not great about it
But
at
it's
all.
easy to share with her, or no? Through
With her, it's a
conversations,
little
even.
easier. With her, it's a little easier. But, she's also so, like, Courtney that it's hard to know, like, what she's thinking or
Mm,
feeling. So I think Skylar and I express it, like, through time. Like, just us sitting,
existing together.
existing together is how we show it for each other. Or even just going out and doing something with her. I think that's how we show it for each other. Because it's hard for us to show it. Because with my siblings, I'm terrible at showing it.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, you're not able to really articulate how you feel. What about Courtney? What would you tell her? The one last thing.
Probably that I'm sorry that I didn't show her the appreciation she deserved. Because, I should have, and I didn't. And that I love her. And that she's my mom. And she'll always be my mom. But yeah,
What about Grandma?
Grandma, oh, I miss that woman.
It sucks.
It does. I wish she could see where my life is taking me right now. I wish she was here for it. Because I know she was very excited
Like,
about it.
finally.
Gosh, she's leaving. Finally. What a bum. No, I wish Grandma could see it because she was very excited for it. And she wanted to see it. But I just wish she was able to see it.
Yeah. She knew. Well, Liliana, Giselle, we had a nice little conversation. I can't wait to have another one with you in a couple years, a year or something, whenever you have some time to sit down. We could do a Zoom one. Cool. I love you.
I love you.
Are you gonna cry? Don't
No,
cry.
are you gonna cry?
Yes. Gotta go bye. Well, that's it.
Okay.
Cool beans. This was pretty
Ew.
long.
Only say that. Don't say that.